Thank you. Don't be so enthusiastic, please. I know. Yeah. Listen, speaking about music as a metaphor, looking at the audience at a certain point, I remember Oscar Wilde's definition for a fugue. He said a fugue is a musical form in which the voices come in one after the other and the audience goes out one after the other. Yeah? So luckily we are left with enough voices in the hall, and I really want to make it very short just to make sure that we do have time for, I think, discussion. Yeah, well, I'm coming here quite happy. Tell you why. I just came this morning from Ireland, where I participated in a Google's conference. Do you know Google? How many of you use Google? Good. So now I know you're alive because you actually moved, which is also good. Okay. So why am I so happy? This is a sales conference. People are talking business. It's about. This is the stage here. Okay. It's fine. Just. People are talking business. It's about business, right? And they sit there and they hear from the Google leaders about all the new innovation, and people are really excited about the new products and all that. And then they hear something about an idea some Spanish girl working for Google had. She said, I live in Madrid, and often I have visitors from abroad, and I always take them to the Prado, you know, the museum in Madrid. And we want to see the famous pictures, only we can't because there are millions of Japanese tourists, you know, hanging there with the cameras. You can't see anything. So why don't we put the actual pictures from Prado on Google Earth? Yeah? And then they put it, now, as Google do, they don't just take photos and put them, they had the most fantastic, incredible resolution in which you could take a Bosch, you know, painting and put something like 1 square centimeter over this kind of screen and have it in perfect resolution. This is, I mean, you should have seen the reaction of the Googlers, yeah, to this. When it got to deal with art, they were completely transformed. They didn't like it. They were enthusiastic about it. They were, why? Why is the project of Google or YouTube Symphony Orchestra? Do you know about this project? YouTube, you know YouTube? YouTube had auditions on the net for musicians from all over the world, and then the community of musicians actually participating chose the orchestra, and the orchestra went to Carnegie Hall, all the people from all over the world, and they had a concert there with Michael Tilson Thomas and all that. You show that to the people, and they got ballistic. It's a whole different magnitude of response. And I'm saying, those technological people, why do they respond this way? So 2 things. First of all, I think they all belong to what I would like to call the new generation of highly educated ignorance. These are people who get the best education in the world, and yet they know so very little about things that interest you and us. And, you know, I may sound like an old man. Okay. They may know a lot about other things, but some of the things that are really important to us and may also be important to them, they are completely ignorant. That's the bad news. The good news is they want to know. They really want to know. That's why I told you the story about how enthusiastic they got from just touching the art. So that's one thing. Second of all, the new patrons. Google. Google is the new Medici of the world. Yeah? Exactly. They have the power, not only because they have the money. They have so much money they don't know what to do with it. Yeah? Also because they control the information. And information is, of course, the new gold, the new... they control the information. They search the best way. They can get to any information. They have the new archives of the culture. Again, YouTube. Again, the book project that they're doing. All that is going to be there. And they're going to control the way we understand the world through all the tools they put in our hands. So the good or bad news, I don't know. But they are also interested in art because art seems to have this magical effect on people, even if they are ignorant, or maybe even more if they are ignorant, but they know their ignorance and they know they want to learn. So we have the patrons, we have the new audiences. You know, there are other new audiences, but I'd like to focus on this one because I think, you know, the unique talents will always emerge. Those people who, the Leonardo da Vinci's, will find their ways to make art and to consume art. But the bulk of the audience we need, I think, is there. That's the kind of audience I'd like to concentrate on. Now, this is, of course, a generalization, of course. And like most people here, I don't generally like to generalize, as you know. But one has to start somewhere. And that's my idea. Let's go there, look for the people. Now we have to connect to them. And that's my third and last point. The thing of creating interfaces with everything seems to be the crucial point where you either make it or not. Gone are the days where Alban Berg, the famous composer, could take his orchestra to the different factories around Vienna and just play to the workers because that was so natural. And it was at the Israel Philharmonic. They had the first series was for the bourgeoisie, and the second was for the workers. And until today, if you go to the second series of concerts in the Israel Philharmonic, they are dressed differently, they are nicer, you know, they're workers. Okay? But these days are gone. Now we need people to be able to make the connection. So I don't know who I'm actually addressing this to. Maybe the artists, maybe some of the artists, maybe people who had enough of being an artist like myself and want to connect to people in a different way. And therefore, I think being able to match the sophistication of those young people, the ignorant, the highly educated ignorant, but in a different way, not just educate them or tell them about things, because, you know, they could be very cynical about it. And what we want is really to engage them. So I'm proposing a new profession here for you to think about. Now the last, oh, I promised that was the last, but it's not. The new art, the new art. What can we say about the new art? Just, you know, it's going to be very difficult. If you think about the Gesamtkunstwerk, I know, thank you. I didn't order anything. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, if you think about people that now have to cope with all the electronics and the live feed from different parts of the world, and again using the archives that are on the internet, and do a complete artwork from that, you know, that's a tough job. But it's luckily I don't have to do it. Somebody else can do it. Thank you so much.